What happens when a 21-year-old drags a murdered woman into a rap beef, and the man he's talking to has built a career on never forgetting? That's exactly where this situation just arrived, and here's what makes it genuinely dangerous. 50 Cent didn't scream back. He didn't rant. He didn't drop a diss track. He posted a frog meme and wrote LOL, 3 letters. That's it. If you know 50's history, that calm isn't peace. It's patience. It's the same stillness he had before Ja Rule's career collapsed. The same quiet he kept before Rick Ross spent years trying to recover his image. The same measured distance he maintained through every feud he's ever won. The real question isn't just whether King Harris crossed a line, it's whether he handed a 20-year veteran exactly the kind of material he's been waiting to use, and whether the Harris family's existing vulnerabilities just made that material exponentially more dangerous. Like this didn't start with a grave photo, it started with a microphone. T meant, I went on a podcast earlier this year and said something that hit harder than any diss track. He claimed that he and 50 had privately discussed doing a versus battle. According to Tip, there was a verbal understanding. He would bring it up publicly, 50 would follow through. When T.I. did his part, he says 50 acted confused, like the conversation never happened. That's where respect entered the equation. T.I. Nike didn't just say 50 declined, he said he lost respect for him. In hip-hop, that word between veterans is a declaration, not a complaint. It's a line in the sand, and if there's one consistent truth about 50 Cent, it's that he doesn't ignore public disrespect. He responded, just not with a versus date. He went to Instagram and attacked credibility. Old Crime Stoppers footage from T.I.'s 2007 federal case got reposted. Courtroom clips surfaced, but the comment King Rat landed, a calculated twist on T.Y.'s self-given title, a name his son literally carries. Snitch allegations flew both directions. What was supposed to be a catalog celebration turned into a reputation war inside 24 hours. Still between two grown men, still contained. Then the move that changed everything. 50 posted an unflattering photo of Tamika Tiny Harris performing on stage. Short caption, warning for T.I. to keep his name out of his mouth. Then he deleted it. See, but deletion was never the point. By the time it came down, every major blog had the screenshot. It was in group chats, on Twitter, across TikTok. The image was living independently of his account, being shared by thousands of accounts with no connection to him. He removed the original while the content continued spreading without him needing to say another word. That's the formula. Post, let it breathe, delete. The bomb goes off and you walk away from the blast site clean. For some fans, it looked like 50 crossed a line by bringing a wife into it. For others, it was classic trolling. Inside the Harris household, it wasn't content, it was disrespect. And instead of T.I. responding first, someone younger stepped in. Someone with less experience, less patience, and a lot more emotion. King Harris didn't wait for strategy. He grabbed his phone and went live. What he said shocked people on both sides. He brought up 50's deceased mother, Sabrina Jackson. Oh, he told 50 to go visit her grave. He referenced her death directly. Then images of a headstone with her name began circulating. That's when the timeline froze. Because this wasn't a generic "your mama" comment. Sabrina Jackson was murdered when 50 was 8 years old. Authorities believed she was drugged before gas was left running in her apartment, causing a fire. No one was ever charged. The case was never solved. 50 has spoken about it in interviews for over 20 years, how he didn't understand death at that age, how he kept waiting for her to walk back through the door, how that void sent him into the streets and shaped the hunger people see in him today. When King posted that headstone, he wasn't just firing back. He was touching the deepest wound in 50's origin story and doing it in public, in real time, in front of millions of people. Some fans said he was defending his mother. On others said mentioning a murdered parent's grave is a line that shouldn't be crossed regardless of what started it. Neither position was wrong, but neither position changed what happened next. 50 posted a frog meme, Pepe the Frog, caption, LOL. No emotion, no explanation, no direct response to the grave reference, just dismissal. And that response, cold, amused, completely controlled, did something specific to the narrative. It shifted attention. The conversation stopped being 50 crossed a line with Tiny and became, did King go too far? The deleted photo had already vanished from his page. Now the emotional reaction was the only thing left to discuss. That's how his playbook has always worked. Make the other side look reactive. Look entertained while they look unhinged. Let perception do the rest. But here's where this situation carries weight that most beefs don't. This isn't the first time King Harris has reacted emotionally in public, and T.I. has had to step in. Back in 2023, during an Atlanta Falcons game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, King went live on Instagram and things turned physical between father and son. King was claiming street credibility. Ty pushed back, told him he was embarrassing himself and the family, and moments later there was a headlock, shoving, Tiny stepping in to separate them. Millions watched it happen in real time. Like that clip never fully disappeared. It just waited, and it established a documented pattern before this beef ever started. King reacts emotionally in public. I steps in to contain the damage. The difference now is who's on the other side. A heated moment at a football game is a family story. A grave post in a war with 50 Cent is leverage, and leverage in 50's hands doesn't expire. Which is why the question people started asking wasn't just whether King went too far. It was whether Ike had to step in behind the scenes and shut it down before it escalated further. Because T.I. has been in this industry long enough to understand how narratives compound. He's survived federal charges, public controversies, and multiple cycles of scrutiny. He knows that when you're already carrying past headlines, every new viral moment doesn't just create its own story, it refreshes every story that came before it. In 2024, the King was arrested in Georgia after authorities discovered an open warrant tied to speeding and driving with a suspended license. That story faded at the time, but once King's grave post went viral, it didn't stay faded. The Falcons incident came back. The 2024 arrest came back. Every moment where King's claimed street image didn't match his documented reality came back. All at once. All searchable, all available for 50 to amplify without saying a single word directly. That's how digital warfare works now. You don't always attack head-on. You highlight one thing and let the algorithm do the excavation. Thousands of accounts start connecting every dot they can find, and the narrative builds itself. Meanwhile, T.I., watching all of this, made the move veterans make. He went to the booth. He previewed a diss track called War, pointed personal, referencing paperwork, and questioning credibility. He rolled it to Atlanta radio before streaming, which felt intentional. Old school rollout. Direct to the city. One side was making music, the other was making memes. But here's what made that contrast cut against T.I. The blogs weren't covering the bars. They were covering the tombstone images and the frog emoji. In internet beef, whoever controls the visual narrative wins public perception regardless of who wins lyrically. And from the beginning, 50 had controlled every visual that defined this situation. The tiny photo, his framing, and his caption, his timing on deletion, the Pepe meme, his tone, his positioning, his deliberate calm. Every image the public associated with this beef came from his account or was a reaction to something on his account. T.I. and King were responding to his frames. He was never responding to theirs. That asymmetry is the whole story. One side carried the emotional weight of this situation publicly, loudly, and in ways that will follow them into every future search result, every future interview, every future moment someone types a name into Google. The other side posted content, removed it, and responded to a murdered parent's headstone with a cartoon frog. For the Harris family, already carrying existing scrutiny, a documented pattern of emotional public reactions, and a young member who just handed a 2-decade veteran exactly the kind of ammunition he knows how to use. The real danger isn't what's already happened. It's what gets built from it. Because 50 Cent doesn't rush, he collects. He waits. He chooses the moment. And when someone who plays the long game responds to a grave post with LOL, that 3-letter caption isn't the end of anything. It's the beginning of whatever comes next.